The day he realized his life wasn't actually his. Didn't feel inspiring. It felt humiliating. Because once you see it, you can't pretend anymore. He woke up early. Not because he wanted to. Because his alarm told him to. He followed the same routine. Same clothes. Same coffee. Same road. Nothing was wrong. And that realization hit him like a slap. Nothing was wrong. Yet nothing felt right. On the drive to work, he noticed something uncomfortable. Every decision in his life had a reason. But none of them had a voice. Not his voice. He didn't choose his career. He accepted it. He didn't build his routine. He inherited it. He didn't design his life. He stepped into one that was already moving. And here's the part he hated admitting. No one forced him. There was no villain. No pressure. No gun to his head. Just his own fear of standing alone. At work, he sat in front of his screen and stared longer than usual. Not because the task was difficult. Because it felt meaningless to perform well at a life he didn't respect. That's when the real thought arrived. The one he couldn't escape. If someone asked me why I live this way, I wouldn't have an answer. That terrified him. Because it meant his life wasn't guided by values. It was guided by avoidance. Avoiding discomfort. Avoiding judgment. Avoiding responsibility. He realized something darker. He wasn't stuck. He was hiding. Hiding behind being practical. Hiding behind this is normal. Hiding behind at least it's stable. Those weren't reasons. They were excuses that sounded mature. And suddenly, guilt arrived. Not guilt for failing. Guilt for cooperating. For years he had blamed time. Blamed circumstances. Blamed expectations. But sitting there, surrounded by people doing the same thing, he saw the truth clearly. He had chosen safety over honesty. Every day. Not once. Not accidentally. Repeatedly. That night he stood in front of the mirror and didn't look away. And for the first time he didn't ask, "What do I want?" He asked something far more dangerous. What kind of person lets this happen to himself? That question burned. Because the answer wasn't flattering. He saw someone who delayed hard choices. Someone who waited for permission. Someone who confused being busy with being alive. And here's the irreversible moment. He understood that continuing this life was no longer ignorance. It would be consent. From that day forward, he lost the right to complain. Because once you see the pattern, staying in it is a decision. Not fate. Not bad luck. A choice. He didn't quit his job the next day. He didn't make a dramatic move. But internally something snapped. He stopped telling himself comforting lies. He stopped pretending time would fix what courage refused to face. And he accepted a hard truth. A life you don't choose will eventually choose against you. This story doesn't end with motivation. It ends with responsibility. Because if this felt uncomfortable, it's not because the story was harsh. It's because it was accurate. And now the question isn't, can you relate? The question is, now that you recognize this life, are you going to keep living it anyway? That answer defines who you are. Not tomorrow. Not someday.